Hello, I'm Steve Shaw, National Coordinator of Football Officials and Secretary Rules Editor for the NCAA. And today we're continuing our series of media videos for 2023, and we're going to be focused on game action from Week 6. Now, I want to report out on our targeting fouls and our overtime games as we hit the midpoint in our season. So far this year in FBS, we've had 73 targeting fouls enforced, and that's averaging 0.17 targeting fouls in every game. Maybe better said, one targeting foul in every 6 games. And that's a downward trend from last year, and that goes against a 3-year downward trend we've had in targeting. So if we can maintain this pace, that'll be 4 years down in targeting, and that's good for our student athlete, and that's good for our game. And we've only had one player receive 2 targeting fouls this season. And why is that important? Why do we track that? If a player gets a 3rd targeting foul in a season, then they have to sit out the entire next game. Now, as we talk about overtime games, we've had 15 overtime games in FBS, and of those games, 1 has been a 4 overtime game, 1 has been a 3 overtime game, we've had 5 2 overtime games, and the balance have all been decided in 1 overtime. But that's an exciting way to end our game. So with that, let's get straight on into our plays.
Our first play this week, the offense is at the 20 going in, and the quarterback's going to float a pass down the boundary just past the pylon, and the receiver takes a big hit from number 17 of the defense, and we get 2 flags down on the play, one from our headline judge, one from our side judge, and the foul is going to be targeting. Now, replay is going to come in, and remember, replay must confirm all aspects of targeting or overturn the call on the field. No stands available in targeting. Our first replay is from the end zone, and we can confirm that the receiver is still a defenseless player at the time of the contact. And we see that number 17, he lowers his shoulder, leads and attacks, and so we definitely have an indicator. Now, our next replay, you're going to see the shoulder of the defender delivers a strong blow to the head of the defenseless receiver. And our final look absolutely confirms all aspects of targeting. And even though the defender did get his head to the side, there's forcible contact to the defenseless receiver's head, and it doesn't have to be helmet to helmet. So this is targeting, and number 17 is disqualified. Play 2, the offense is in the red zone. The quarterback fakes and keeps the ball. He's going to dive for the end zone, and the ruling on the field is touchdown. Now, as we go back and take a look at the replays presented, the first replay, we see the quarterback dive, the left forearm, and then the elbow hits down, but it's difficult to see the position of the ball in relation to the goal line. But replay decides this is very tight, and they're going to stop the game for further review. Now, we get a second view, a ground level shot from midway in the end zone, and it's a very good view to see that the arm is down, but again, the position of the ball is difficult to determine. And as we get a third replay, it's starting to feel like we're going to have to let the play stand. But as we go back and take a look at the work of the replay official, as we go under the hood, we see they're looking at the 12 camera view that is synced up, and replay on their own, they're going to piece together a couple views. They look at the near handheld, which we know has a good view of the arm down, and the far goal line camera. Tough to see the arm, but you can see the ball. We put these side by side, they're synced up, and we know the arm's down. Then we're going to blow up and evaluate the far goal line camera, and we can see that the ball is absolutely short of the goal line. So this is a good job by replay to use all their tools available, and we're able to overturn the call on the field. It's just short of the goal line, and we do it all in less than a minute and a half. Play 3 is from an Ivy League game, and we're going to see that the offense has 2nd and goal from the 1-yard line. The quarterback is under center, and he leaps and extends the ball out, and then the defense is going to knock the ball loose. But remember, the ball needs to just break the plane of the goal line to be a touchdown. And if it does, any action after that ball breaks the plane is action with a dead ball. So the ruling on the field here is touchdown, and replay is going to take a look at it, and they let the touchdown stand. Now, as we see the succeeding kickoff, the kicker's restraining line is normally the 35-yard line, but the Ivy League has an experiment this year, moving the kickoff line up 5 yards to the 40-yard line. And the reason for this is so the Ivy League kickers can match the FBS kickers in terms of kicking the ball into the end zone. kicks into the end zone drive touchbacks. Why does that matter? Typically, there are less injuries on touchback plays, and that's the goal of this experiment. So how are we doing with it? Well, in FBS games, we're averaging just over 33% of the kickoffs being returned. And in the Ivy League, the return rate is right at 42%. But that is less than all of FCS, which has over a 50% return rate. So the experiment seems to be working for the Ivy League. Play 4, the kickers will put the ball in play by kickoff from their own 20-yard line after a 15-yard penalty from the 35-yard line for an unsportsmanlike conduct after their touchdown. Now, the return man catches the kick at the 15. He heads up to the far sideline, pitches the ball on a reverse to number 17, who takes the ball, turns the corner, heads upfield, and is out of bounds at the 44-yard line for an excellent return. Now, remember, replay must evaluate all aspects of each play, and replay is going to stop the game to look at the pitch to number 17. And we see that the initial return man, he's going to pitch the ball from right at the 20-yard line, and number 17 is going to catch it maybe just beyond the 21. Live, it optically appeared backward, but this pitch is clearly forward, and we get a good announcement from our referee.
Too soon.
After further review, the pitch was forward from the 20-yard line.
So a good job by replay here of being alert to all aspects of the game. Play 5, we have a kickoff, and we're going to see that the receiver, he's going to catch the ball right about the 14-yard line. He's going to start upfield, but the officials are going to immediately blow the play dead. Now, as we go back and take a look at the return man in isolation, we see that he gives a signal. It's not a very good signal, and really is considered an invalid fair catch signal. It's a signal that does not meet the definition of a valid fair catch signal. A valid fair catch signal requires the receiver to extend one hand clearly above their head and wave the hand from side to side. So this doesn't meet the requirements of a valid signal. So it's an invalid signal. An invalid signal still deprives the receiving team of the opportunity to advance the ball, and they do not get the protection from being blocked or tackled as they do on a valid fair catch signal. But on a free kick with a valid or invalid signal, if the receiver completes the catch, they can still put the ball in play just like a touchback at the 25-yard line. Our last play this week, we see the offense is backed up. They snap the ball to the quarterback in shotgun formation. The quarterback's going to drop back. He gets heavy pressure, and then we see the ball come out, and it goes flying back into the end zone, and we have a potential recovery by the defense. Now, the ruling on the field is going to be an incomplete forward pass and intentional grounding. And as we go back and take a look, we do see that the quarterback, he does get the ball off without being down. So it is definitely a pass. And as we look from behind the quarterback, we see that it's thrown into an area where there are 3 ineligible offensive linemen. So there's no receiver in the area. It is a intentional grounding foul. Now, since the intentional grounding penalty is loss of down at the spot of the foul, and the spot of the foul is where the quarterback released the ball, which is in the end zone, the penalty will result in a safety, and we score 2 points for the defense on this play. Well, that's it for our plays this week, and we really appreciate your time invested in watching these videos. There's some interesting plays here, and as the intensity of our games rise down the stretch, every call is important and will be magnified. So please keep the feedback coming, and best of luck to all this week.